to do is to kind of piggyback your niches off each other. Once you start building a list, just find something else that serves that same type of demographic. So he goes on to say, okay, so he started the Lucha Libre mask site, and he says that's done okay the past year. And he says, more significantly, the mask site led to an important contact with the previously mentioned Lucha Libre news site. And this past January, I made the bold action to call them up and see if there was something we could do together. As it turns out, their offices were about 3 blocks from my apartment here in Mexico City, and they were very interested in working together. After doing some smaller projects for them and then extensive testing for this project, we finally launched Lucha Libre Revista on September 1st, targeting Spanish-speaking Lucha Libre fans in the US. Using our relatively small email list, we sold 15 subscriptions in our first week, beating our target of 10, and are growing a bit each day. This is my first 100% Spanish site, and while it's been a challenge, it's been a lot of fun. I'm very excited about some promotional items we have coming up, and am seriously looking into some content licensing to support a membership site in the coming months. It just all depends on what our customers want. I mean, another great lesson there. He's diving in, he's starting to build it, and he's just like, we'll see what the customers want, and we'll just take it where it needs to go, but let's see what the market wants and what they'll do.
Yeah, let the customer tell you exactly what they want.
Yeah. So, the way he's thinking, I mean, this is just a great example of how to think about your niche, how to dive in, how to piggyback one niche off the other. And one last lesson from this is the Spanish speaking market is like wide open. I mean, there's a lot of this internet marketing talk out there. And of course, this is an English speaking podcast. So we pick up, we're in like over 126 plus different countries we get listened to. But of course, Australia, UK, and US are the big ones because those are the big, English speaking in Canada. But, Spanish speaking is wide. And it's like, if you're looking for a niche and you speak Spanish or know somebody who speaks fluent Spanish, like take something that's successful and now do it in Spanish. I mean, and if you understand the cultural differences that need to be there and the language, like, there's one formula for success in my opinion. So that's the other lesson learned out of this. So anyway, his site is luchalibrerevista.com. I guess I'll spell it real quick. Luchalibrerevista.com. And we'll also have a link to that in the show notes. But thank you very much, Adam, for sharing that success story and for letting me say Lucha Libre like 10 times in one episode. I'm totally thrilled.
Lucha Libre.
Lucha Libre. All right, so that's the breakthroughs for this time. Remember to share, the Academy members, share your breakthroughs in the forums, the mastermind forums in the Academy, and we would love to share your breakthroughs here on the show, big or small. If it's a big deal to you, we want to hear about it and to share it with others.
It's time for the Internet Business Quick Tip.
All right, on today's quick tip, we are going to address a question I know a lot of people have as they're thinking about moving from the employee quadrant into the business owner quadrant. I know a lot of people get hung up on the what am I going to do about insurance thing? And, the quick answer is you pay for it. I mean, it may seem different because obviously when you're with an employer, it's subsidized by your employer. But, when you work for yourself, you are your employer, so to speak. So there's a lot of different options out there. And, one that I want to bring up that's here in the US, just to give an example. I mean, really, there's a broader quick tip here. But let me just throw an example out of some possibilities. Is that you can go, because obviously an employer can get a cheaper rate because there's a group of people, right? And now all of a sudden you're by yourself as a self-employed person, and maybe it's just you, maybe it's you and a partner, or maybe it's you and, 1 or 2 employees, but, you can't get as good of a rate. So a lot of times you can join different kinds of associations. Like I know in New York City, there's like a freelancers guild, or I can't remember what they call it or something like that. And as long as you work at least 10 hours for yourself a week, you can join this thing and get insurance through them. Or there's a national association for the self-employed, which is the one I wanted to bring up as an example. Now, I think this is only available here in the US probably.
But there's probably something similar in many countries.
Yeah, I'm sure. So the point being is you should look for these kinds of associations that you might be able to join and get benefits through, such as your insurance, and get a cheaper rate because now you are a part of a group that can, negotiate better rates. So that's, we're not necessarily endorsing National Association for Self-Employed, but definitely throwing that out there as an example. I know some other Internet Business Master community members have brought that up before. And I'm actually in the process of looking for a new policy myself, so that's something I might check into. Anyway, I was going to ask you, Sterling, what do you do for your health insurance?
I actually now have a policy that's I believe it's called catastrophic coverage, which means that between, I think mine is $5,000 and I don't know, $2 or $3 million, I'm completely covered. But from, the first dollar to the $5,000, I have to pick that up. And then you also do a thing called a health savings account where you can put money into this, I believe it's tax-free or before tax income. You can put it into this health savings account. And that's what you do for that $1 to $5,000. Hopefully this isn't too complicated sounding. It's actually really super easy.
So I guess the way that works then is, I guess that makes a lot of sense. So basically, for smaller things like a doctor's visit or going and picking up a prescription, you're just saving some money away, but you're saving it away in such a way that it's pre-tax. It's like a business write-off then. So you got this money sitting in a savings account, and you go to the doctor and you pay out of that, and so you're paying with pre-tax money.
Yeah, and it's not some weird thing, or like when I went to my agent, I was like going, I need to do insurance now that I'm, working for myself. What are my options? And this was actually the first option they mentioned. And I was like, oh, I like that one. And then so like in that health savings account, if I go to the doctor, rather than paying like a $15 copay or something, I actually pay for the office visit, but I pay with a check from my health savings account, which means I still get the discount, the supposed discount that insurance companies, give on that stuff. So you're not paying the full what's considered a full doctor visit. So it actually has worked out really, really well for me. And that's the particular way I do it. How are you guys doing it?
Well, we've done something similar to that in the past too, where we save money up and pay the smaller stuff out of pocket. And a lot of times that makes some financial sense, because if I add up like in a year what we spent on doctor's visits or maybe little prescriptions or some things like that, it's actually less than what we would have paid for a big fat insurance premium, to have the super coverage where 100% doctor visit coverage or whatever, that kind of thing. And so but obviously you want to be protected if you go and like have a crazy skiing accident and go to the emergency room, and next thing you know, you got a $10,000 bill, or heaven forbid you get cancer or something. That's when you don't want it to wipe you out. And so that's where this, like you said, catastrophic coverage is really helpful, because it's like, okay, you're protected against the big stuff, but then for the small stuff financially, it just makes sense to, in other words, take care of it yourself, but do it in such a way that it's a tax write-off too. So it's like Uncle Sam is paying part of your your government, whoever that might be, is paying part of your medical bill, so to speak. So yeah, lots of options out there. It's definitely something worth looking into, asking your CPA about. We're just starting to work with a new CPA, and so it's the same one you're using, Sterling. And so that's why I'm going to talk to him and maybe switch coverage around and make more business sense the way it's set up. But yeah, lots of possibilities. So it's definitely not something to be scared of with the whole, what am I going to do about insurance if I lose my job or leave my job? There's a lot of possibilities out there. And of course, healthcare is a huge issue in the news these days with everything going on with, Obama and all these things. And so, I guess it's a very on topic thing to bring up. It's like, what does a self-employed person do about insurance? So there's some of the things that we've looked at, thought about, done ourselves. And I guess that's a broad, quick tip about how to get health insurance for your own business.
Now, if you'd like dozens of other resources such as this one, you can find them in the Internet Business Mastery Academy, along with video tutorials showing you exactly how we use them. To get a 30-day no-risk trial membership to the Internet Business Mastery Academy, visit freeaudiogift.com. That's it for this episode of Internet Business Mastery. Until next time, we wish you ultimate success in your internet business.
You've been listening to the iconoclasts of the 9 to 5 and the purveyors of freedom and fulfillment, Sterling and Jay. Sterling and Jay invite you to discover one of their most popular audio programs ever. The 3 Pillars of Designing Your Ultimate Internet Lifestyle. Visit freeaudiogift.com now and sign up for the free weekly Internet Business Mastery email newsletter. And you'll get instant access to this life-changing audio presentation, pulled directly from the content of the acclaimed Internet Business Mastery Academy membership community. Go now to freeaudiogift.com. Internet Business Mastery. Free your mind.